All right, we are live, recording live, episode 27, 28 of Barstool Unit.
I think it's 27.
27?
I could be wrong.
We could be wrong. Episode 27, possibly, of Barstool Units. I'm Coach Doug's. With me, as always, the Honorable Frank the Tank Fleming. Frank, how you doing?
Actually, it's 20. Let me see. It's 27. I was right.
27. All right, good deal.
It's a good thing I'm not a heavy sleeper. Otherwise, I would have missed this episode, dozing off during the All-Star game. I had to do a live card pack opening on YouTube just to keep my mind from wandering. First off, Joe Buck has to talk to everybody. It's not an All-Star game anymore. It's an interview show.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
60 minutes.
John Smoltz might be the dullest. He sounded like he's watching a game like this. Yeah, I remember when I was pitching an All-Star game. Yep, that's a good play, Joe. Yep. Yeah, these uniforms. Yeah, you're right, Joe. These uniforms are really good looking. I'm so glad that we have Nike as a sponsor.
Yeah, it's just not good all around.
The uniforms were. You know why I like the All-Star game? I like seeing all the uniforms.
Yeah.
Today, Nike said, "Fuck that shit." I think Nike dreams of a world where every team has 9 trillion uniforms, and they all look the fucking same.
And they're all bad.
Look what they've done to the NBA. How many goddamn uniforms do NBA teams wear? Yeah. And some of the teams don't even look like themselves.
Yeah. Well, that's who was the team that was. Shoot, I can't even remember, but it looked like they were wearing yellow. Was it the Knicks? No, it wasn't the Knicks. It might have been the Nets.
No, the Nets. They've all worn weird uniforms. The Milwaukee Bucks wore blue against the Hawks.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of, and I'm thinking of college. I'm thinking even in college now, there's so many uniforms. I think it was Maryland was wearing yellow.
Oh, Maryland has like 3,000 uniforms too.
Yeah.
But that's Under Armour that does that.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. It's the color burst, the city edition. They're all just money grabs.
And these also uniforms were just the pits.
I don't know. I don't know how they come up with this stuff.
I really like watching the regular uniforms. I don't know about you, but I like watching the regular uniforms in the All-Star game.
Yeah, they're all together. It's like, it's all the uniforms all on the field together.
I like looking at All-Star game pictures and seeing, oh, look at that. Look at the blend of uniforms.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that this year.
No, it won't. And not only are you not going to get that, but the uniforms they're wearing are. I don't know if these are the same ones. Did you see the New Era caps? The ones that have like 6 different fonts.
I
saw that somebody posted a couple of different teams of that, and I haven't looked up to see if they're actually for sale or not. But they're just awful hats.
Now the hats weren't awful. I got to say the hats weren't.
No, not the ones they were wearing, but there's some out there.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, they're like city edition hats or something like that.
Yeah. I don't.
The Yankees have the Statue of Liberty on it. The Mets has an apple on it.
Yeah.
They're horrible. They're horrible. And the people who are buying it are probably not sports fans.
Okay, you think it's a money grab from it's the same reason like Anaheim moved to Los Angeles, you know?
Yeah, it's
or at least it's for the name change so they can have a Los Angeles jersey.
Yeah, it's more for like people who just like wearing like the hats. Like 10 years ago, they came out with red Yankee hats,
mm-hmm.
and then they had like blue Cardinal or not. Well, Cardinals did have a blue hat, but like hats like they're just different colors, like a lime green Yankee hat, lime green Dodger hat. They just don't look right.
No. Well, that's the whole thing. What was it? With the Yankees, there's no reason to have a red hat. I mean, unless did you? I think it was this season actually. They had the military appreciation hats.
Yep.
And they had one for Toronto.
Yep.
Not to say Canada doesn't have a military, but yeah. So I don't know.
Well, you notice the players for the Blue, every team had an American flag on their arm, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh shit, the Blue Jays, they actually play in Canada, don't they? Well, let's put a Canadian flag on the front of the jersey.
Yeah. Well, and so
of course, Fox continued their tradition of shooing in the Canadian national anthem during the All-Star game.
Yeah. It's insane. Well, I mean, did you obviously, okay, so you were in the gambling cave for the
home run derby.
For the home run derby. That was entertaining to watch, especially the back and forth with Ohtani.
The home run derby has become much better than the All-Star game itself.
Yeah. Although I tell you what, I mean, it's probably a mix of the graphics and the timing, like the actual clock on it. They got to figure that out. Not only, first of all, the graphics. I mean, there was so many things going on the screen. You were looking at the batter, you were looking at multiple shots of like different pitches. You had multiple names across the top. You weren't sure who, it was just, there were so many things going on. But then also, when you have the shot clock like that, or when you have, the timer, you can't enjoy the home runs.
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been on Fox, in which case Joe Buck would be interviewing the guy while he's batting. And when there's home runs getting hit, you see a cartoon graphic telling us to watch Bob's Burgers.
Well, I'm glad you brought up interviews because I appreciated Ohtani's performance in the home run derby. I mean, that was why he was there. But what I really look forward to, I mean, the real reason I watched was for his interview. Just like everyone else. So I'm sure Stephen A. Smith. What a wild thing to say, Stephen A. Smith. Just saying you can't be the face of baseball, or it doesn't help to be the face of baseball. If you can't, nobody watches Shohei Ohtani for his interview. I'm sure he's a loving guy. I'm sure he seems to be just a nice guy, just hanging out and enjoying himself.
If Nick Castellanos was in the home run derby, he would have won because Stephen A. Smith would have come on and say, "I'm sorry, this didn't happen. There's a long drive by Nicholas Castellanos."
A deep drive to left field. Yeah. It's just a wild thing to say, but I guess, I mean, in a sense, I understand that if he's trying to say, I can't even try. I was going to try.
It was a dumb thing for Stephen A. Smith to say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it would be great if he spoke English and he could just have a regular one-on-one interview.
He does speak English. The problem is he doesn't speak English
well enough
that he's not comfortable.
Gotcha. Well, and again, he's a baseball player. He's not an orator. I'm not listening. Nobody watches him for giving speeches.
I'm actually surprised that Vlad Guerrero Jr. needed an interpreter. Mm. But if he doesn't feel comfortable, what are you going to do?
Yeah, just no. I don't. It's sports.
Vlad Guerrero's father played in the majors. Although he might know French as good as he knows English.
Yeah.
Considering that he played a good deal of his career in Montreal.
Frank, I gotta say, I love it when you say those French names. Canadians? Is that how you say it?
The Montreal Canadien. I didn't look at his face. Did not look at his face. I went to Calabria's to watch the Euro final.
Yeah.
Italy versus England.
Yep.
And obviously, this place is very pro Italy. It was either that or go to my old neighborhood in Newark, But the neighborhood in Newark was more of a street fair, and it's hard to find parking there on a normal day. So I was going to go a place where I could find a place to park. So I went to Calabria's in Livingston, a great pizza place. They're actually coming up tomorrow to the office.
Oh, nice.
Dave gave them an 8.9. They're big fans of Barstool over there. So I'm sitting there. I have my pizza. And someone comes and starts crowding around. Guy with his 2 kids and his wife and his dog. And they're sitting behind me. I'm listening to the Mets blow a 5-0 lead, so I'm pretty pissed off. Italy ties the game after they. England came out like gangbusters and scored 2 minutes into the game, and you know Italy was in trouble. But Italy settled the game down, tied the game, and then of course it became a soccer game, which means it was going to end in a 1-1 tie with penalty kicks.
Yeah.
So I never really paid attention to this guy. Paid attention to his dog because his dog was under my chair. The next day on Instagram, I did the picture, and of course, I'm trying to get the picture of the celebration. As I'm holding my phone, I accidentally hit stop. So I had to hit another recording, and it cut off a major part of the. This my reflex when the goal was no good was to accidentally hit stop. So I got people said it was like the Sopranos ending.
Yeah, exactly. Just went to black.
Well, someone actually had the celebration, and I'm in it.
And that man is
Patrick Elias, the all-time leading scorer for the New Jersey Devils.
Just hanging out, same restaurant, and you had no idea.
No idea. His dog was under my chair the whole game. Actually came up to me a couple times. They petted it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw a guy with his 2 daughters. I didn't even really look at his face. I didn't even think about it. And all of a sudden, the next day, Patrick Elias Instagram, it was like,
you had your New York Mets fedora on.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a wild story, Frank. Here's the thing. I mean, how nice is that for him though? He can just go out in public and unless somebody really knows New Jersey Devils hockey, even someone who does know New Jersey Devils hockey, he can just live his life as a normal person.
That's a good thing about places in New York. They do tend to leave you alone for the most part.
Yeah. Well, that's something I've noticed. I mean, it's not like I'm getting noticed that often, either way, but in New York,
I have people come out to me at Yankee games, Met games, and all the games, want to take pictures, and I have it on the street every now and then. Mm-hmm. But that's about it. It's not too. Although when I went to the rain out with the Yankees, it got a little crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. It reminded me of like the Beatles when they first came to America. You were just getting mobbed by fans wanting to take pictures of you. But you're very popular, Frank.
I really can't believe I was sitting next to Patrick Elias the whole game.
Not a clue. And he didn't recognize. I think the bigger story is he didn't recognize you. Can you imagine if he was like, Frank the Tank was petting my dog and I didn't even realize it? Well, it's going to be. It was so a boring All-Star game, an exciting home run derby. For as exciting as it could be. I really think.
And I'm sorry for everybody. I had to root for Pete Alonso. I know. I know 29 other fans. The fans of 29 other teams were rooting for Trey Mancini. It would have been a great story if Trey Mancini would have won. But you know what? He didn't. He made the finals. That's a great story in itself.
Yeah. And that's you were in the gambling cave with Megan, the new hire.
Yeah.
And Big Cat and Mincy, and you were enjoying yourself.
I wasn't actually laughing at the failure. I was laughing at what Dave was saying.
Okay, I got you. And what was Dave saying that got you going?
This guy's in last place. You've got your first big bet, and he finishes in last place.
Welcome to Barstool.
And it really wasn't. The Mets, Pete Alonso got helped by Dave Joust. Watch the home run derby. Dave Joust, they did a map of all his pitches.
Yeah.
And they were like almost like perfect. Every pitch was like right, the dot. The guy who was throwing to Joey Gallo was like stretching, looking in the ball bag, and picked the perfect ball.
Yeah,
he wasn't just grabbing and throwing.
Not only that, but then you had the issue with the timer where they didn't count that last home run because the pitcher didn't throw it in time. Meanwhile, they counted Mancini's. I think it was Mancini's they counted.
Story.
Okay, they counted Stories. It's
that always happens. The home guy gets that extra ball.
I'm just saying especially with the timing and not being able to watch the home run, I think if they just had a ball count, I think that would be a lot better. Because then you can actually watch the home run.
And then we have someone talking about Pete Alonso. He was showing off. He was, look at he do that. Look at him. He's bobbing, he's weaving. He's taking this as a joke. He won it. He took it as a joke. The Yankees wouldn't do this.
Well, did you see he got kicked out? Well, he didn't get kicked out of a bar, but a bar apparently was closing. And the lady manager's just like yelling for like everybody get out, we're closed. And it's just Pete Alonso like with his drink in his hand, just like, really? Like what? Like if that wouldn't have happened in New York, and it definitely I don't think that would have happened in Atlanta. I don't know.
Well, in New York, they things don't close.
Yeah.
In Colorado, they gotta go plant the corn the next day. So,
yeah, well, that's what Colorado's known for, cornfields.
I mean, the nightlife in Colorado ends at like 9:00.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some cities that have like nightlife, and there's some cities that don't.
Yeah.
And if you ever listen to Keith Hernandez do a baseball game, enough baseball games, you could tell which ones he likes and which ones he didn't.
Yeah.
When Keith Hernandez played, you know what city every player would love to go to?
No, what?
Montreal.
Is there a big party scene in Montreal?
No, but Montreal had supposedly had the best strip clubs.
Oh, really?
In the 80s and 90s. And all the players love going to Montreal for the strip clubs.
That's funny. That would not have been the first. That would not have been the first venue, type of fun that I would have thought of.
And what was funny was like if a player's on the disabled list, and he doesn't have to go traveling with the team, but he'd come to Montreal.
That's awesome.
Because I remember when the Expos were folding up tent and getting ready to move to Washington. People were talking about that the players are going to miss Montreal because of the strip clubs that they had in Montreal. Yeah. They were always the most popular.
And I don't think there are any adult gentlemen's clubs in Washington, D.C.
Oh yes, there is.
There is.
It's called the Clinton Lounge.
I'm not touching that. If you're listening, I don't know what he's talking about.
If I end up dead in the morning, you know why.
Well, hopefully you're not dead in the morning because you've got a lot of stuff going on. I heard.
They actually now have on the death certificates, cause of death, Hillary.
Again, the joke is lost on me. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what? Let's just go and cut this short. No, I hope you're around for a while because you've got some big plans coming up. I hear that you are going to show off your athletic prowess, and you will be throwing out a first pitch for a Jackals game coming up.
Yes, indeed.
That's awesome. How did that come about?
Well, I was going to go to a Jackals game a couple of weeks ago. They got rained out. I showed up, and they were just closing the gates. They said that, we would like you to come throw out a first pitch. So I talked to people in the box office, and it got arranged for Thursday.
Nice. That's awesome. They gonna get you a jersey and all that?
I don't know if they'll get me a jersey, but I might get something.
Yeah.
You know, the Jackals actually play on the campus of my college.
Yeah. I think we've talked about that. And I'm not sure if Barney Mush is still officially a team member or not.
I don't think so. I think that was just a one-time thing last year, and the game got rained out naturally.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's still pretty cool though. That'll be a fun event. I'm not throwing out any first pitches, but we are going to Chicago at the end of this month, and I'm coming to pick you up. And so I'm going to be making a few trips along the East Coast, going to some minor league baseball games. Now that I have access to blog and everything, we'll be blogging them. And but yeah, I'm picking you up a little. We are officially units are taking over Chicago.
That sounds great. It'll be my first time in Chicago, and as we go across the what states will we cross? I guess Ohio we would cross.
Yeah, we should cross Ohio and Indiana.
2 states I've never been to.
Yeah, and then we'll be in Illinois.
And a state I haven't been to either.
Yeah. Well, actually, I guess we're coming from New Jersey. I haven't driven. Once I got to Indiana, or no, once I got to Ohio, I drove south. I think we'll probably come through Pennsylvania as well.
Well, I've been in Pennsylvania.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, so well, that'll be cool.
How old is your car anyway?
It's a 2011 Tahoe, and we're gonna. So it's gonna be you, myself, and Ari is coming. And Ari is a big guy. He's really into sports cards as well. So we're gonna go to Chicago. We're gonna be going to the National Sports Card Convention. Gonna go to some baseball games while we're out there, I'm sure.
I think the Cubs are in town. That means Wrigley Field.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I've never been to Wrigley Field, so I'm all for it. It's gonna be a fun road trip.
You know, I wish we had a time machine when we go on our trips too. So this week, because I would love to go to be at Comiskey Park during Disco Demolition Night.
Oh yeah. I'm all about those promotion nights.
I mean, just talk about a promotion that worked too well.
Yeah. People hate disco, apparently.
Well, you know what it was? It wasn't that they hated disco. It just got sick of it.
Yeah.
Every commercial was disco. Every TV show had disco. Everything was disco. Every radio station was becoming disco, and it was just enough. And people just like snapped.
Yeah.
And this
got too much disco.
This DJ just like tapped right into the boiling anger.
Yeah.
I mean, when Kiss released a disco album, or a disco song, I should say, not really an album, it ended up being their top hit, but they lost a lot of fans.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stones did a disco type song with a disco beats. So even like the rockers are doing the disco, and that just like pissed people off.
You don't mess with somebody's music. Well,
and this DJ just like tapped it, just hit it, just like connect it in the right spot.
Yeah. Well, speaking of great promotions, I mean, I think you saw it. The Jumbo Shrimp. I wasn't paying attention. I'm still recouping from my long road trip, and I was at the Comedy Zone. Ron White was at the Comedy Zone, so I was doing the workshop there, and I missed it. Saturday night, the Jumbo Shrimp gave away their the Ocean called George Costanza bobbleheads, and I missed it. So I think if you saw it, it's George Costanza from Seinfeld. You know, he's eating shrimp. It's the Jumbo Shrimp baseball team, but I think I'm gonna be able to get one, but they're going on eBay right now for like over $50-$60.
Yeah, that's a little insane. Maybe it will tip down a little bit. Although I look at the Putty bobblehead and the Seinfeld bobbleheads, and those are going for pretty pennies still.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that I think they only made like 2,000 of them, and so it's a matter of.
Well, yeah. I think it was 10,000 for the Putty, if I can recall.
Yeah.
And 25,000 for the Seinfeld at Citi Field. Mm-hmm. Seinfeld actually threw out the first pitch that day.
Oh yeah.
David Putty was actually at the Prudential Center when they had the putty bobblehead.
Yeah.
And he fell.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, he was coming on the ice and he slipped.
I tell you, that ice is not something to mess around with. When we did the Pink Whitney Cup, we sat down in the chair to do the judging of like the trick shots, and I said, "You're just gonna have to push me to the side because I'm not getting off this chair." That's all I pictured was me slipping and cracking my head open. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Walk like a penguin.
I already walk like a penguin. It wasn't helping. I'm telling you, actually, it wasn't too bad at the beginning. But as soon as like people had been skating on it and everything, that was when it got real slick. But yeah, well, we'll have to head out to the American Dream once I'm moved up there. We'll have to head out to the American Dream and take some skiing lessons, or not skiing. Well, maybe skiing lessons too, but the ice skating lessons in the ice rink.
Well, yeah, we got to get you up here. No matter how we get you up here.
Yeah, well, that's a good transition right there. So, I'm gonna move up. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. The unit house is a great idea. It might happen, sometime down the line, but I need to be in New York, especially.
Yeah, I got my fucking pre-approval.
Oh yeah.
Now it's about looking for a place.
Yeah. Now you have like kind of like the go ahead from the mortgage.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and move up. I'm gonna find at least a short term place that I can stay up there, and then if you
can't find anything in like New York, always look in New Jersey.
Well, I think my go to what I'm gonna look at is either Hoboken or Jersey City. I think that's where a lot of people stay that don't want to live in Manhattan. So I think that's my go to. But I'll be up soon.
I mean, you could be Tommy Smokes right now. His 27-story building they're shutting down the elevators.
I couldn't tell. I mean, I couldn't tell. I was hoping he was being sarcastic. I was hoping he was being hyperbolic with saying 23 weeks, but or how many ever weeks it was, but something tells me that is the actual time frame they gave him. Like,
no, he read he was sitting right in front of me when he read the email.
I mean, I would just say, hey, cancel my lease. Like, cancel my lease. Give me my security deposit back because I'm going somewhere else.
And he says that the elevators are always cramped and crowded, and with two, it's going to be impossible to get upstairs.
I just that's one thing.
That's one reason I don't want to live in New York.
No, and just imagine, like, you finally get home from obviously we have, long days of, our arduous work. But yeah, just imagine you get home after a long day and then you're standing in the lobby of your apartment complex. You can't even get to your apartment.
That would really suck.
And I imagine if you're past the 10th or 13th or 15th, 20th floor, I mean, I would say go ahead and cancel my lease. Just go and give me my security deposit back. I would rather move somewhere else than deal with one elevator for a year. A year. That is the lease. That is like the full lease. Just go ahead and give me my money back, and I'll move somewhere else.
That's 46 weeks. That's always it always goes longer than what they say it goes.
Yeah. I just don't. How could it take 23 weeks to replace one elevator? I just don't. I mean, I don't know. We need to get maybe we need like an engineer to come on the unit show or something and explain to us how that could take so long. You see these videos of, like, in Sweden and everything, like they're putting in like an overpass in like 8 hours, and like it only affects one day of traffic for them to make these huge changes. I don't know. But wherever I stay, I will make sure that they have multiple elevators and it's not over, 10 or so floors.
And I feel good for people that they have union benefits and union protections, but sometimes, do you know it took 2 years to build the Empire State Building? 2 years.
And it took twice as long as it's going to take for them to build 2 elevators or to fix 2 elevators.
I mean, what are we doing here? Why does it take so long to fix everything?
I don't know.
I mean, look how long it took to build the now people died, granted.
Yeah.
The Hoover Dam. We couldn't do that today with all the like OSHA and concerns and delays. It would take 50 years to build the Hoover Dam again.
Yeah. Well, hey, big OSHA guy, Barstool Carl. Big OSHA guy. I don't know if you paid for some reason, somehow. Oh yeah, Marty Mush, when we were doing Pick Central at the Dugout Bar in Omaha, Marty Mush said people are. This is his comment for the day. He was talking about how people are so dumb because they have to have exit signs. Like, we need exit signs over these doors. And Carl mentioned that there have been numerous fires in major buildings to where, yeah, we do need exit signs. And but it went from that. But then, like, for the next 2 or 3 days, Carl mentioned OSHA every day. So big OSHA guy, Barstool Carl. But I don't know. We need to get answers to this because, it as a larger man, I feel like even as a non-unit would also feel this way. That's just crazy. 23 weeks for one elevator.
I mean, really, we used to be better at building things, and we built things better when we did it quicker. And now we do it slow. It takes for fucking ever. And by the time it's done, you're just fucking sick and tired of fucking construction every goddamn motherfucking day.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'll say it one last time. If I got that email, I would ask for my security deposit back, and I would say I'm moving. There's no way I'm staying in that building for a year. But that's just me. Maybe that's the unit talking. I don't know. Not my problem. I feel bad for Tommy. Hopefully it gets fixed soon. That I will not be in that situation when I move up. I'll be moving into either Hoboken or Jersey City very soon. But before then, going on the road again, going up the East Coast, hitting up some minor league baseball games, picking up Frank in Jersey, and then doing a trip to Chicago. Units are taking over Chicago at the end of this month. I'm excited.
And then we got to start doing the mini golf again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I found out there's I don't know if you want to do this one. There's the Earth is Dying mini golf course in Brooklyn that they just debuted.
Okay. Is like a pop-up, like it's a theme that they just came up there. Do they change the theme every 6 months or something?
I don't know, but this is like climate change golf, where one is like you have to hit it over a polar bear where the ice caps are melting.
Of course, and is there like a hologram of Al Gore at the first tee box, like welcoming you to there?
Earthed in the lurch.
We have to play that one just to check it out. I'm excited. We got a lot of stuff planned. But yeah. So Frank, thank you. Throwing out first pitch at the Jackals game on Thursday. Got a whole bunch of stuff planned, and then go through your sports cards because we're going to Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, that toddling town.
I'm excited for it. Maybe units at Wrigley Field. Milwaukee's just an hour or so north. Maybe we'll have a Brewers game.
And then once you finally get up here, we can start going to friggin' Met games.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. All right. Well, that's
just let me just reiterate. Somebody please wake up John Smoltz and tell him this will be John. If John Smoltz is doing hockey. With Joe Butt with that next Al Michaels saying, "Do you believe miracles?" John Smoltz say, "Yeah. Game is over. United States just won. What's going on?" Literally, John Smoltz sounded like he was half asleep up there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, can we get better announcers? Joe Buck fucking always sucks. Joe Buck's a commercial pitchman disguised as a play-by-play announcer.
Well, hopefully we'll do better next season.
It's-
But I'm
yeah,
excited. I'm excited though. I'm excited for the rest of this. It's sports are back. It's still hitting me that like, hey, like sports are back. We're going to live sporting events.
yes, indeed, and of course, I'm going to a card show on this Sunday just to practice.
There you go.
The one
You got to
in
take a few cards. You're like, hey, I'm willing to trade this. I'm willing to sell this.
the one in Garfield. I opened up a box of Topps Heritage today during
Mhm.
the All-Star game, and I have these 3D cards I looked at too.
Nice.
But yeah, it'll be something fun. See if we can find anything interesting in Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's the largest card show of the year. I was able to get a hold of the media director today, so we're gonna have some press passes. We'll be able to go into some backstage stuff, and
Ooh, that sounds nice.
yeah, they've got there's gonna be 1,200 tables there. That's just vendors. That doesn't include people just walking around. That's just 1,200 tables of vendors.
And of course, we're gonna need to get a raw dog of Portillo's.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, it's a unit road trip. We're going to be raw dogging. We're going to be going to sporting events. We're going to,
And of course, we'll have
kidney stones.
We'll have to find Eddie.
Well, that's the thing. So here's the thing. They're going to be in Iowa.
Oh no!
So we might just have to take over the Barstool Chicago office. I don't know.
All right, I believe we had to go to where is it? State Farm, like a good neighbor.
Farmers.
Oh, Farmers, dum.
Yeah, exactly. So units are going to take over Chicago at the end of the month. I'm excited.
At least it's not progressive.
Yeah, that is for sure. Well, that's Barstool Units episode 27. I'm Coach Doug's. Frank the Tank, please take us out.
All-Star Game is on Fox. Joe Buck will not shut up. John Smoltz needs some coffee because I think he's asleep. The game's boring. The uniforms really are an eyesore. All-Star Game's really lame. Why did this get fucking ruined? Click like and subscribe.